take to develop a vaccine for this coronavirus?
Well, when I'm asked that question, I don't mean to sound glib again, but I can make a vaccine for it overnight. The question is it safe and effective? And that's the challenge. We have right now questions about how do you make immunity to a coronavirus and what kind of vaccine do you have to have that brings in all the different parts of the immune system. So we don't know that yet. So some of this research is going to have to be basic to that. The second thing we have to worry about is safety. There's a condition in humans called antibody-dependent enhancement, ADE. And it turns out that if you have no antibody or an immune response, you'll get the disease. If you have a lot, you're protected. But if you have this in-between level, and then you get the disease, it actually enhances the disease immune response. It's really destructive. And in fact, there was just a couple of years ago a major recall of dengue vaccine, a type of vaccine we use for mosquito infection in the Philippines, where kids who got the vaccine actually made just a little bit of antibody, and when they got the real disease, it made them a lot sicker. And so we found with the 2003 SARS vaccine that there was an ADE component to it when we made it in animals. And so we're going to have to really study this to be sure it's safe. And as you said earlier, we can surely make mistakes. We don't, we need to do everything we can not to. And so I think between getting the effectiveness and the safety data together, we're years out. I mean, maybe 2 years. Yeah, this is not going to happen soon. It's wishful thinking. Every time, I go back to SARS in 2003 and look at every event, Zika. 2015, we said, we'll have a vaccine for it in no time. Here we are 5 years later, and we have no vaccine. And so this is one of the challenges we have. We have to complete the job. It's like we start on something, and then we forget that it's important because it kind of goes away for a while, but only to come back. And so this is part of that picture we talked about, and this is what Peter Hotez talks a lot about. We got to finish the job on these things. I worry that we'll get through this situation, and then people say, we're done, and then we'll forget until the next one comes along. And so this is where vaccine research and development is really important.
How do they test for safety? So once they come up with a potential vaccine, how do they make sure that it's safe?
Well, you do it gradually. First of all, you put it into animals to see, and you know enough about them, how their immune response is, what do they do? Then you put it into a few humans, 30 humans. They volunteer willingly, knowing, to see what kind of reactions they have.
Why don't we just take really bad people that are in jail and practice on them?
Well, I don't know if that's doable here in this country without their informed consent. So
I think Trump could fix that. If we have a shot at doing that with any president, it's Trump. Just start with rapists.
Yeah. So anyway, the bottom line, though, is that then they gradually work their way up to larger studies where, if something happens 1 every 1,000 people, you have to study a lot of people before you know that the chance that you might find that.
Right,
you can't do it on 30 people.
Right.
So that's why it's going to take a while. And, they'll test it on more and more people. And they're going as fast as they can. It's not like there's anybody dragging their feet. It's just that, I jokingly say it's like if the Iowa farmer wanted to harvest his corn in half the time, it doesn't mean by planting twice as many acres he can do that.
Right.
Plant in April, you still can't harvest till October.
That's a good point.
That's what this is. It's going to take us this long to get this vaccine.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.